Hey Ella,
Hey, RC,
how are
happy
you?
birthday!
Thank you very much. It's been a very good birthday week, and I'm really excited to be here today. This is a good way to end a very long week that we've had. Lots of work and lots of stuff, so it's good to see everybody. Um, I mean, there's so much we're celebrating this week between we've got it's Marco's birthday was this week. It was my birthday, but it's also the anniversary of our studio. That yeah, so it was a big deal for
Yay!
us. It was a lot of fun. So it's a big deal for us because our studio Hero Helix was founded on October 13th, 2022. Right? No, 2023.
Whoa!
Sorry, I'm getting my years wrong. 2023. And the funny thing was, it was on a Friday the 13th that happened.
Spooky.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy. And it became, because of that, the 13 became my new um, lucky number. And so I use 13 now like crazy. Like 7 is one of my favorite.
hmm
And now I use like 13 like crazy. So that's like my new favorite
I
number.
love it. I
Yeah.
love it. You gotta be unconventional. You gotta take what the universe gives you. It's a lucky day.
I kind of look at it that way. It was also kind of like I'm prone to like compulsive things, so it's like everything had to
Mm.
be in numbers. And what's funny is that with numbers, it was always like, oh, it had to be like what's it called? Like I used to have to like fives and tens, and then it became
hmm
now 13s and sevens, which is really insane for me, to do that. So
I
anyway.
love it.
Yeah. So yeah, so it's a big deal, and we've got a lot going on tonight for Marco's birthday. We've got some announcements to make. We're gonna do a sticker drawing, and anyway, why don't you start us off?
Okay, so I'm gonna start us off with the raffle that's been going the full week. So it started on Monday. At the very end of this live, we are going to announce. We're gonna spin the wheel live, and we're gonna show who won the raffle. So the winner gets a studio line commission, full body, full color of your OC. And then everybody who enters gets obviously more chances to win, but also gets to be added to the sticker Marco, just like the one that we did for Hugo. And I guess we'll see who has more stickers. I have a feeling it might be Hugo, but I don't know. Marco gang might come on strong, and we might get more stickers for Marco. So there is still time. The link is in the description. It's the first link to get onto the birthday art, and Cam will also put it in the link in the chat. And so you have until the end of the live. So you've got this whole time, and we're going to be announcing some other cool stuff that we're also going to drop links for in a second. But I just wanted to let you guys know we will be drawing that raffle at the very end. We didn't forget. We are doing it on purpose as like a way to end the Marco celebration today. So you still have time to get in if you want. I'm going to be looking at the link to make sure I get all the names over to RC. So, yep.
Awesome. Yeah. So do we need to are we going to start with the present? I'm sorry, I was getting notifications all over the place, so I'm a little. Where were we? Where did we want to start with?
I'll send it to you here.
Okay.
So we're going to
Okay.
show the new thing.
Okay, we're going to
Oh,
show the
thank
new
you,
thing.
Ruben.
Awesome. Thank you,
Thank you
Ruben.
so
That's very cool of
much.
you. That is very cool of you. We really appreciate that. That's very cool of you. So the first thing we're going to show off is the one of the in commemoration of the where the manga is now, and with the anniversary of the studio, the second year, we've got our first like major product that we're going to be putting out. And so this is, if you've seen the manga we released. Sorry, my dog is coughing. Sorry. We had the Ray Galaxy, who is a fictional TV character within the Flux Destiny universe, played by Hugo's brother, made his debut in the manga and was a big hit. People really liked it, so we thought it'd be really fun to do our first merch based on that. So I'm going to share. We've got this new Letterman jacket that I'm going to put up on the screen so you guys can see. based on the Ray Galaxy character, and featuring art straight from the manga itself. And I thought this was pretty cool. This was Ella's idea, and I thought this was really
Thank
cool.
you.
So it comes in black and in red. Ella's going to drop the link in the chat if you're interested in grabbing one of these. I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see some of this art here.
A Letterman, yes. A Letterman. And just like all of our stuff, it's going to be through our PayPal, which you can use Pay Later if you want, just like with everything. So it's pretty cool. And there's something on the back which I like. It's custom for this piece, which is it's pretty cool. I gotta say, RC showed it to me today, and I was like, I have to get one. Hello, that's so cool.
I'm really excited about this one. So the red and black just worked out perfect, and it matches his. There's a standee. I forget which page it is. I think it's like page 15 or so, where you first see him, and
Mm-hmm.
the him and his famous bowl cut on the page. So we're gonna learn more about Ray Galaxy over the course of the manga, but yeah, so we're really excited about this. So be sure to grab one of these if you can, if you want to collect one of these. Red and black. Ella had already, I think Ella or Cam already shared the link in the
I'll
chat.
post it again frequently during the live, and we'll be putting it in our the feature shop too. So if you miss it today, don't worry. It's not like today only. We'll be doing this for a little while, but it's pretty cool. I think that it's a pretty cool jacket. I really like it, and it's our higher quality stuff that we've been getting now. We've kind of moved to a new company that does the higher quality with like the thicker fabrics and stuff. So it's pretty cool, and it's obviously two patches on the front and then the big one on the back. So
And the debut of the Flux Destiny Universe logo by accident. That was actually supposed to be with our new website, but Flux Destiny Universe is the brand on this one. So pretty excited
yeah,
about this one.
it's like our
Um,
first it's like our first in world, you know what I mean, like more in world product.
that's
So
right.
I like it. I've been pushing for more in world stuff, so this is kind of the first one. I'm sure there's gonna be more Ray Galaxy stuff because Ray Galaxy's like our boy. So
That's right. So super excited to show you that. That's the thing that we've been kind of hinting a long time about this one. So a little thing about Ray Galaxy before we go into the other things I wanted to share. Hugo, Ray Galaxy, the TV show in the Flux Destiny universe has been going on for a long time. Like actually for about, it was actually rebooted with, we'll find out with Hugo's brother, who plays the role. But it's been going on since like the early '60s in this universe.
mm-hmm.
It's a really popular franchise, and Hugo's brother Klaus is insanely successful. They at the start of the manga, you can see even posters featuring like the next movies coming out. So it's a really big deal in
Yeah.
Europe. So
This is
I'm
like the
excited.
Star Wars. I mean, it's probably like Star Wars and Star Trek like
Yes,
combined. I mean, it is the franchise. I mean, everything, movies, video games, TV shows, posters, action figures. I mean, probably the biggest brand IP, right? Like in
it is.
you know
Yeah,
what I
it's
mean?
funny because it makes an appearance in the RPG too. If you look closely
Mhm.
in the core rulebook, the Flux Fantasy core rulebook, you should. I think it's in the Fortuna chapter. There's a um, when it talks about like video games or something. I think it has a Ray Galaxy video game mentioned in there, if I remember
And
correctly.
he's
So
a trading card, I believe, too. Ray Galaxy is a trading card. One of
yeah,
the
that's right.
rarer
That's right.
ones.
He is.
And
So
so as we update the RPG as well, more about Ray Galaxy and more trading cards and merch and stuff will appear in the RPG too.
it's so funny because whenever I'm doing this, whenever I'm working on the manga, Ella will see things and she'll be like, "Oh, that would be so awesome to take this and turn it into like something cool people can collect." And it just so happened that this little part of this scene with in the manga turned out to be a really cool jacket. So thank you, Ella, who always comes
I
up with
love it.
ideas. So, all right, so that's this. So now we're going to go into talking about. We want to share the. We're going to talk about the birth, about the studio, and then we want to share a cool presentation of really old art. So Ella somehow got me to agree to showing old art of mine a long time ago. This was
I'm very
not easy.
tricky.
Yeah, it was very tricky. She's very good. She has her way of doing things, and some of you may be familiar with the early versions of this presentation. We've added more to it. It is, it was a lot for me to show this, okay? Because any artist can tell you that their old stuff they're super embarrassed about. So, um,
Sure. Yeah.
but I think it's really important to show like how far we've come and how long it took to develop this particular concept, right? And so it's gone a long way. And we talk a lot about when we're doing when we talk about story development, we talk a lot about like one of my favorite lines is from the Pixar book Creativity Inc., where they say, you have to nurture your ugly babies, right? Like it's like don't accept the first thing that comes out. It's like you gotta
Yeah.
you gotta work on it and work on it. And that was the deal with Flux Destiny, was it was many years in development, and it went through many iterations before it became like the canon version of it. So yeah. So did we want to do that first, or you want to do the studio stuff and then that, or
So, the studio stuff will kind of come through.
okay?
Well, let's talk about the studio a little bit first, since we're on the big screen. I want to know a little bit about why you decided to create a studio, not just like start Flux Destiny, but why create a studio around it? Like why, because Flux Destiny is amazing and it's its own thing and it's your baby, but the studio as a whole, it's not just the franchise and Flux Destiny, it's a whole thing. So tell us about why. I mean, we're almost at the birthday in a couple of days, so
That's true,
we need
yeah.
to know about it.
Well, it's always been, ever since I was a little kid, I wanted to create a studio. I wanted to create something where we could create Flux Destiny being one of many worlds that we create, right? It's like our main universe, but I wanted to create a studio where we could create new ideas and new universes, right? That we would put all this together and make it that way. And Flux Destiny is kind of the cornerstone of that, and it's one of many universes. And it's kind of the name of our studio is Hero Helix, and part of the reasoning behind the name is that I feel like these intertwining of these different universes, together. So
Mm-hmm.
Helix, the DNA of it is all kind of coming together, and so that's kind of my intent, was to be able to do that.
That's awesome. We've got a new friend who sent us a huge super
That's
like.
I see
So
it. That's my
thank
brother.
you.
That's my brother. My little brother's out there sending me a super. Thank
Well,
you,
look at
Eric. That
that.
was very cool of him.
Celebrating
That
your
was very cool of him.
birthday and the birthday of.
That is very
Wow, I
cool of
love
him.
the little like the lemon guy, and that I think you're the green one, and your brother is the lemon
he has
tossing
been
you around.
he has been with me through all these iterations before, so he is, we have gone through this journey together, so that was very, very cool of him. Of that, so I appreciate that. So I know that he's out there watching with us, so thank you, Eric. I appreciate that.
Oh, so sweet.
That was all the notifications. He was sending me notifications earlier. I was trying to focus, so that's when you heard my phone going off.
You're
I was
like,
like, I'm
shut
trying to
up, and then
focus.
you're like, oh.
No, but that means a lot to me, Eric. Thank you so much. He's been behind all my crazy ideas and all the crazy stuff that I've done. He's always been behind me, pushing me and encouraging me and doing that. So it means a lot to me. Um,
Aw.
so I need to get him on sometime. He needs to come do an interview with us
Oh
sometime.
my gosh, that'd be great.
Yeah, it'd be
That
a
would be
lot of
so
fun to.
cool.
We did. Anyone who knows the old. So speaking of studio stuff, the old like ancient stuff that I did when we were doing like Cause Effect and this other stuff, Eric and his best friend Matthew helped me produce like the original concept animation. This is a long time ago, and Matthew actually is the voice of Skylar in this video, in this old video.
Oh,
So, yeah, it
cool.
was very funny. He kind of came up with this like British accent. We thought it was British, but like years later, re-listening to it, I don't know if it comes off as British as we thought, but it was very funny. It was very funny, and so
That's
it was,
great.
yeah, so it was great.
Well, speaking of, like Battlegate and all that stuff, tell us about the different things that you've done. Like, so Flux Destiny is kind of the newest addition of this long line of things that we've done. And the presentation doesn't cover the other stuff that you've created. So tell us more about it. There might be some people who have no idea because we've got a
Yeah,
lot of new
well,
fans
I've
and
I've
stuff.
kind of been all over the like with my own stuff. What's interesting is that I started my career doing like web comics. So many years ago, in the early days of web comics, I started doing web comics way before Webtoon, and I'll share some of that today. And so whenever I was doing the original idea that would become Flux Destiny, it was a web comic called Battlegate that became really successful on its own. But that's one of the things that when we talk about a lot, like development of stories and things like that, why I'm always preaching about that was that it was just something I was doing off the cuff. I had kind of an idea and I was just doing it. And that's why I realized I was like, I need to step back and spend time developing this world and developing the storyline and the magic system and everything. And so doing all that took a long time. It took many years to do that and to get it to a place where we're really ready to launch it. And I think the last step of it before I launched the studio for real was when I did the audiobook, the Flux
Mm,
the Flux Fantasy audiobook, a Flux Destiny audiobook that was based on a novel I wrote that was kind of a proof of concept.
yeah,
So and during that time, or just prior to that, I had been at Funimation as head of original entertainment. So I ran all of Funimation's like anime and live action film labels, and so I was producing all that. I was getting a lot of experience in story development and like running franchises, and it was great. So it was a lot of experience I was able to put into what I was doing today. So
that's great.
yeah.
Okay. Well, is
So
there anything studio specific that you wanted to keep talking about, or did you want to
no, I
jump
think well we
into
can just
art
start
and
showing. I think they
Marco?
want to see art, so we'll share that. But
Okay, let's do it.
let's take a look at this presentation. So let me pull this up real quick. Okay, so you're not going to see my face for a minute. This is just going to be me and Ella talking over this. But Ella had put it.
About time.
You can hear me, right?
I can hear you.
Okay. So we put this. Ella put this book together with really old art of mine, and we're going to see the progression of things, right? And we're going to get to Marco. We're going to see some of the really old art of Marco and where he came from and where he eventually went to. So a lot of you are going to be like, wow, this is really old. Some of you may have been following
Yeah.
so long that you recognize this stuff, but we'll see.
Well, I think out of the two of them, the reason we wanted to show this is because I actually think that Marco went through more of a journey than Hugo did. So when we look at the old art, we'll see kind of not just the journey of the studio, which obviously is a big part of this, but the journey that Marco went through in style and design. So, when we look at Hugo, he kind of, maybe it's just me, but he kind of always has looked like Hugo. He's
Yeah.
kind of got this interest, he's a little bit shorter, a little bit more like feisty and excitable and things like that. So when we look at this old art, I see Hugo in this character.
Yep.
I don't know if I could say the same about Marco.
Yeah, no, Marco was definitely a journey. Hugo was there from the beginning. And this old stuff that you're seeing now, I was just learning. So my experience had been drawing like cartoon animal stuff, right? Like, so it was learning to draw people was a big jump for me. And so you can see very early that I was learning at this time. To tell you how old this is 20 years old. These drawings
Mm.
from 2005 when I first came up with the idea. And so this was the first incarnations of the idea, and I was taking some ideas of mine from another webcomic that I was doing and turning it that would eventually become Battlegate and turning these like set of like these animal characters into humans. So the story is so far from where it was that it's not even recognizable. So um, anyway, so that's this, and then you can start seeing some like early concept art, so some really old stuff. And what's funny is that a long time ago, when I was first developing the idea, Hugo and Marco, they were the age difference between them was much greater. Hugo was Marco was much older than Hugo, and he was in the Battlegate comic. Marco was a parole officer for him, and we started
Mm-hmm.
like, well, what did Hugo do? Why does he need a parole officer? And there was this whole story that this mystery that we were going to unravel over the course of the story. Um, um, and obviously, all that's changed since then. But it was also more of like a medieval universe, so it was very different. It's not like the modern setting that it is now. These are actual pencil drawings because back then, when I used to do these web comics, they were done in pencil. So I actually drew the art in pencil and then digitally colored it. So you know, before Karmastry, before Flux Destiny or anything, Hugo and Marco appeared in this completely different comic. That is no longer, you can't buy it anymore, like on what do you call it, on Amazon or anything. But I think there's like
Mm.
like copies around. You can buy used copies of it, um,
And it's on our Patreon.
and it's in the Patreon. That's right. If you're in Patreon, you can see this. But this
You
is
can dig it up.
You can dig it up there. So this one, yeah, and the sideburns. I saw that comment on sideburn. That I thought I was so edgy and cool for giving Hugo these giant sideburns. They eventually like mysteriously disappear somewhere in the comic where I realized, oh, that was really, uh,
He shaved.
yeah, he shaved them. So anyway, so here's just some pictures. You can kind of see these, um, this like the old style of it of the comic. It was just completely different. Um, you can kind of see the origins of the Taurus in this because Hugo had
Mm-hmm.
the big ring, but at the time it was just decorative. It didn't mean anything. It wasn't tied to any magic system or anything. It was just part of the the his character design. Funny enough, I was working with another artist a long time ago who was helping me do some work, and I almost didn't do the Taurus. I almost got rid of it, and she told me,
Mm-hmm.
"No, that's actually really cool. You should keep it." And so I credit her for it because she's the one I almost got rid of it, and I'm so glad she convinced me otherwise not to do it. Um,
I agree.
so
Kudos to her.
yeah, I'm really appreciative of that. So you can see here's some other stuff from here. There's a if you look right there, kind of in the center of the screen, you can see when I first came up with the name Hugo. I actually there's a piece of paper where I wrote it down and I took a scan of it and I put it there. You can see where that was, but that was 20 years ago when I was first developing the idea. But all these are just like sketches from the early development of it, and um, the like even some of the creatures like Mustangs, which is like a play on the word Mustang, but Mustangs are big um, what do you call it, seahorses that
Mm-hmm.
in this universe. So there's one of like the first designer creatures in this universe that made their way over into Flux Destiny uh, when we finally get into the canon version. Okay, and then here's just some more just early artwork of it. Marco and Hugo, just really, this is like I said, super old. You can tell just from the pencil work. Then you start seeing like as I was developing the idea more, you can start seeing like the development of the idea of the Great Machine and um, the Gears of Destiny and the emergence of karmastry. So you can see this little drawing over there to the right was actually happened right as I started at Funimation. It actually happened the first couple months that I was working at Funimation. I came up with that idea and I started
Mm-hmm.
developing the idea more. So I can remember the moment I drew that picture and how that developed. Okay, so just here's some more just some more.
You can see that Hugo's definitely taking shape as Hugo, but Marco I feel like is still he's getting there. You know,
He's getting there. Yeah, he's getting there.
he's just starting to take shape, and I think Hugo is well on his way here.
Yeah.
So, he looks pretty similar to what I would think like maybe a young Hugo or an early concept of Hugo might look like. But if you had told me that that was Marco, I'd be like, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, it's
I don't know that guy.
completely. It's just the whole thing, the whole development. And if you look at any story, if you look at any movie, go look at any Pixar movie, any Disney movie, any TV series, they all this you'll see all this development stuff that they do that doesn't remotely resemble the final version of what they've done, but it was part of the
Mm-hmm.
development process, you know. So, oh, here's just like a closer look of the Gears of Destiny drawing. Just some more drawings. Um, their relationship was very different too at this time. It was meant to be more, you know, Marco was more Big Brother in this, like stern Big Brother, and that relation
Mm-hmm.
Marco has changed, you know, just dramatically since then. Flux Destiny started coming about as I was developing the idea, and as the magic system itself starting to develop you know, the karmastry magic system itself took many years, many years to develop, and to develop, you know, what you guys play with Flux Fantasy now took a long time to do it, but this was the start of that adventure. Some more sketches, some more, like I had this little pill bug you can see in the bottom left. If I would have continued with the Battlegate idea, there would have been this pill bug that was probably about the size, or a roly poly about the size of a house cat, that would have been Hugo's. And he didn't have a name yet, but he was on there. He was in the plan to give Hugo a that. Hugo is also going to be very different in terms of a character. He was going to be more of a troublesome character who was, you know, going through a lot of issues, and that's why we you know, Marco was his parole officer during this. Then as we start, then toward at the end of my time at Funimation, when I had left to go, I was hired to be an executive at another company. I started producing, writing my first novel. I said, okay, I've done all this development. I want to see how this would play out as a book. So I wrote a full, you know, 60,000 word book, and did a kind of proof of concept of what Flux Destiny would be like, and it was called Flux Destiny Fortuna's Rings. And the cool thing was that it had performed so well that I decided to take it into the next level and say, I'm going to produce an audiobook. And I had this idea,
Mm-hmm.
you know, Todd Habercorn, who some of you may recognize as a really prolific voice actor in anime. He's Ling in Full Metal Alchemist. He's the lead in Fairy Tail. He's plays so many amazing parts. I think he's Razor in Genshin Impact. You know, dear friend of mine. He narrated the book, and when I say narrated and performed, I mean it. His range
Yeah, he did.
is crazy. Yeah, he played all the characters. He played, you know, he narrated. It was just an amazing experience, and we even shot this little. I wouldn't call it a documentary. It was kind of like this mini thing that we did in LA with him there, and it was a lot of fun. And I need to share that sometime. It was a lot of fun with it. But this was kind of like the final proof of concept before we went to doing what do you call it? The full Flux Destiny that you guys know today. So here's just some more art from
The
that.
full Flux.
The full Flux. Here's some more just art from that. Up there, you can see some art in the book. In the printed version of the novel, you can actually see each chapter has a character, like little character
Mm-hmm.
picture, and so those up there are some of the art from that.
And Marco's getting closer, even closer, but still not right.
Still not right.
Still a little
Still getting there.
off.
Still getting there. Right. There was a lot of work. He was the hardest of all the characters I've had to kind of figure him out. Here's just some more promotional art. Just the cover of the front of the novel. You can kind of see some more iterations of Hugo and Marco as they get. You can see the evolution. Marco had been aged down, and so Marco is now only about 6 months older than Hugo, and
Mm-hmm.
they're best friends in this, as opposed to the other dynamic that we had. And then Marco's first premiere in Frenemies, which is the one shot of Flux Destiny that we did
Which
prior to launching manga.
which was very close. We thought for a while that this was going to be his design, but there was something missing.
That's
There
right.
was something in his hair that wasn't quite right, and there was something that was missing. But we thought that this was the design. We were like, okay, let's go with this. He's ready to go. And this, to be fair, this is a younger version of Marco, a little bit in frenemies. But then we decided one last step, one last push with Marco. We literally sat down and had like what was it, like a full day
Oh, it
meeting
was a
where
whole
we
day
went
of this.
through, yeah, we went through and we changed different aspects of him, his hair, his clothes, his style, the way he looked. And then I think that we finally found something that we really liked.
And then we started getting to the glasses. So Marco found his glasses, and we found his way with the glasses. And if you haven't seen the Marco and Hugo explains Flux Destiny series on YouTube, you need to check it out because it's really fun. And the voice actors do an amazing job of him. And I think we've kind of rounded the corner with him, and finally found him as a character. And you're about to see him because in a couple pages, this scene in the manga is about to end. It's only like a few more pages, and then Marco is introduced officially in the story. So, so I'm just really happy with the way that he came about with this.
I agree. And I think that he is really one of the strongest design points, is that I'm glad we took the time with him, because he looks like Marco. I
Yeah, that's
wouldn't think
right.
of him in any other way.
Well, it's funny because when I talk to other creators too, or people who are like, who aspire to create their own universes or writing stories, I encourage them. I said, they people you, I encourage them, don't settle, right? Don't
Mm,
settle with just like, oh, I'm going to get it out there and be done. No, like if it doesn't feel right in your gut, you need to spend the time developing the idea before you do it, right?
mm.
Like before you publish it, because and that's why I took so many years of like trying these different iterations, playing with different ideas, because I was like, it's not right yet. It wasn't ready to go. And I said, okay, now things are ready. And so everything's been locked in place. But I feel it was worth the time personally. It took me literally 20 years because I started this project in 2005 and then officially launched it in 2023. So it took me whatever that what is that 18 years to finally get to the point where I could launch the Flux Destiny universe and everything that we have today. And having you guys with us like on this journey has been really amazing. The support that we've gotten from the community and from the fans to do this has been awesome. You guys have helped us get there. I've had a lot of fans who followed me from the initial incarnations of this, who helped us make the Kickstarter a huge success. We were funded within 24, 48 hours. We had hit 160% of our goal. We got
Yep.
Kickstarter selected us as a project they love. So it was an amazing start to the whole thing. And today we've got this amazing community. We have this awesome Discord server where all our fans are in there and create awesome OCs. The launch of Flux Fantasy, our TTRPG, which Ellen and I developed last year, and that was its own thing, like developing that. And a lot of people, and that was kind of part of my approach, was that if we were going to do this, we wanted to have all this ready. I wanted to have the universe ready.
Mm.
I wanted to have the RPG ready so that when we started getting into the story and things were going, you could jump right into it, right? It wasn't like, oh, now you got to wait for the RPG. So there was a whole method to my madness of developing all this first before launching the story, was to have everything, ready to go. So I am really, really, really proud of it. And I'll tell you, it has not been all sunshine and roses. This has been a very
Mm.
difficult journey to get to this point today. And Ella has been with me for a portion of this journey, and she knows because she's gone through her own stuff that we have to go through together. But it's so fulfilling to be able to do this and to have a fan base like ours who really believes in what we're doing and supports our studio and is just here for us, and we just deeply appreciate it. And I just want you to know how much it means to me as a creator to have fans like you who not only want to participate in the universe by reading the materials, the stories we put out, or the watching the videos, but also creating your own original characters and playing in Flux Fantasy is a huge deal to us, right? So
Yeah.
we're really, really, really appreciative. So I want to say thank you to you guys. I want to say thank you to Ella, who has been just like
Stop.
the wind beneath my wings during this whole process. So
Oh.
she has been with me this whole time, just really pushing and really believing in this. And I'm so deeply appreciative of Ella and Cam's work as well. and I understand that my family is out there watching too. I didn't realize that they would be
Well, they
watching,
want to come wish you
and
happy
so
birthday and
and
see all
so
your
I
your
I
great
do I
progress.
deeply appreciate and love my family. My brother Eric, who has, like I said, has been there since the very beginning, even before when I was a little kid. When we were little
Mm.
kids, he was wrapped up in all my crazy, fictional stories that we would do, and so he has seen it from the very beginning and has been there and always cheered me on, and I really appreciate it. His wife Casey, who's there too, my sister-in-law. Hi, Casey. We got Matthew there too. Matthew, who was the voice of Skylar. So it's so great to see all you guys too. So I really appreciate them hopping on to this event as well. So yeah, so that's awesome. So I thought what we could do is I think we're gonna go into doing the um, chibi now, right?
Yep. So we have been making our own Discord reacts. After this update, like we've been talking to you guys about, that Marco has changed a little bit. We needed new Discord reacts. So we are gonna do one that actually Candy put in time for. So thank you so much, Candy, for getting this a long time ago, and we've saved it for this moment. We wanted it to be really special. We're gonna do kind of one where he's given a heart or like a like. It basically means like I like this post, and so RC's gonna do a little bit of drawing, and we're gonna re-put all of the links from tonight because there was so much webtoons and the jacket and the raffle. And then after this is done, we're gonna do the raffle. So you've got a little bit more time, probably like 20 minutes, and then we're gonna end this party and we're gonna go eat our leftover cake tomorrow.
Yeah, so you still have a chance to buy a raffle, and like she said, we'll show that we're gonna spin the raffle wheel at the end, so we'll get to see live who ends up winning. So I'm really excited about that. Okay, are we doing music through this one, Ella, while I'm drawing this?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So let me switch over here to.
Let's sit in silence and reflect upon this, Marco.
So let me pull up. So this is from, for any of you who haven't been in these particular lives. Um, let me pull this up real quick. So these we've been doing these like little chibi Discord reacts, and so we actually have one of Hugo. He's hidden behind me and Ella back there. But we're going to be doing a one of Marco, and this one is sponsored by Candy. Candy is one of our fans who has been here forever with me and supporting everything that we
Forever.
just deeply appreciate. And so, like she said, we decided to wait and do this one on this particular stream. So I'm gonna work on this. I'm gonna put some music on. Whenever I'm working on these, we always have like music play in the background. But while I'm doing it, if you guys have questions, like about Flux Destiny or the process or the things that we've done, history, Ella will. I'm gonna be focused on reading. She's gonna pick out any interesting stuff and she's gonna tell me, so I can focus on drawing this, and then we'll go from there. So let me get this music going. Now this is your earphone warning, okay? So you got your earphones on. I'm about to start the music. I think we've found some pretty cool music that we've been listening to lately. So just a heads up on that. Okay. Ella, let me know if this works, if it's too loud. Okay, here we go. How's that? A little
Okay, I can
spooky.
hear it now. I was like waiting for it. I was like,
Sorry, it was loading. It was loading. We've got this like awesome like retro 80s music that we've been playing. So
I know,
is
I
it
really
good?
like it. It's very Flux Destiny. We were playing like anime music, but it wasn't the vibe. It wasn't
Yeah, it wasn't.
right.
This works really well. So okay, so let's get started. So we're gonna do Marco saying he's gonna do like I like this kind of pose, right?
Yeah, so it's like it's using it on a post that's like basically a heart, like a like. It's one of our most used reactions in the Discord, so we need a really good one for Hugo and for Marco. Yeah, so like RC said, if you have any questions about Marco's history or the history of the studio, or I don't the jacket, Ray Galaxy, whatever, we'll answer what we can. So yeah, I'm excited. I really like that presentation because, and part of that presentation is also on our Patreon, but not some of the later slides, because when we made that, we thought that Marco was designed, and so we added a couple of more pages to it for this special live, because back then I think we made that presentation almost a year ago, so we thought this is the end. Yeah, this is what he's gonna look like now, and you know, we didn't realize that we were going to end up adding some more features to Marco. And this will be a good base for the other Discord reacts that we use for Marco, because we'll finally get his hair in. So that will be good. So we'll be able to reuse this. Maybe he'll get a milkshake too. We'll see. I know that that's one of our favorite, you know, reacts. So we'll see if he'll get one too. Maybe if enough people want him to have a milkshake, he'll have a milkshake. So Carl asks just a lore question and says, can Inkfighter and EA moves, Escape Artist moves, synchronize in universe? So kind of like the combo moves in, you know, the RPG. Can they sync also, you know, in the manga? And what would that look like?
I think they can. And the thing is that what separates, you know, there's always that like fun narrative tension between Escape Artists and Ink Fighters, and so them having to work together and combine their powers is kind of a fun, you know, fun idea to be able to do that. And so I'd say the short answer to that is yes, they can. The second half of that is, can you actually get them to cooperate? You know, that's
very true.
That's the other question.
And yes, we will be doing a Discord React soon. In fact, spoiler, it might be next week. Wink, wink. So be on the lookout this weekend for something dropping. I love his glasses. I love the glasses. I love that they're circles.
So I had this drawing a long time ago where I told Ella that I thought Marco had glasses, but that he was too vain to wear them. And because there was a drawing I had of him from a long time ago where he's wearing glasses, and she loved the idea, and she was like, "You need to give him the glasses. You need." I was like, I was hesitant at first, you know. I was like, I don't know.
You were.
And she pushed it, and I'm so glad she did, because I think they work really, really well for him.
You know, my original idea actually was to move Marco's Tauruses to his glasses, kind of like our friend Elios. And RC put his foot down. He was like, no, he's got to have the earrings. I've had that forever. You know, that's a part of who he is. And I was like, okay, I hear you. But I originally wanted them to move, actually. So you can all thank RC for putting his foot down. I do think that the earrings work really well, and it's such a good way that he has kind of the same ones as other creative karmastry users. He kind of was the base for where they wear their Tauruses. So I'm glad that we ended up keeping it, because then we'd have to find a new place that creative karmastry escape artists put their Tauruses. So
I thought it was a cool idea. I just thought it was I thought it was really cool for, like, for him. This had always been what I envisioned, right? And so that's why I thought it worked really well for other characters who wanted to apply that, you know?
I agree. And I'm glad that you put your foot down, because I really like that we have all types of characters wearing these really big Taurus earrings. I think that's really it's right on your face, you know, it's super cool. So it's like a stamp on your signature and what you are. I mean, pretty much everybody knows, like, oh, you're a creative escape artist, so
right.
It's pretty cool.
And if you're interested in checking out, if you haven't checked out our TTRPG, Cam can drop a link in the chat where you can go check out the core rulebook, which is really cool. It has it's basically like an encyclopedia for the universe, and how many? It's like 300 pages, right? It's huge, and it comes pre-bundled with games in it.
Yeah, it's pretty big. So it talks about, and if you're curious about learning more about the world and you don't want to read a 300-page book or play the game, Hugo and Marco themselves showcase parts of the world in the explainer videos that we have here on YouTube, which you're already on. So, you know, less work for you to go get the core rulebook. But hey, I love the core rulebook and it's awesome. You know, I helped make it, so it's one of my favorite things ever. But that if you're into OC building, that's the place you gotta go.
There's my dog again. You know, I always forget to... I thought I had put him up in the other room, so I'm sorry if you hear my dog coughing.
I like that he escaped. He had to see Marco's birthday.
He had to come watch the show. Sorry.
Whoa!
Sorry. He's fine. He's just a little old man.
I'm excited that we're gonna have a base for Marco now. Marco is, I've got to be frank right now, he's one of my favorite characters. So I have definitely been the one pushing for extra Marco love. RC will work on both characters, but then I'll be like, so, you know what, can we talk about Marco? And he'll be like, Marco, you know, and I'll be like, come on, I love Marco.
Now you need to understand, I don't want them to misunderstand what you just said, because that comes out of, that could be misunderstood as I don't like Marco. That's not true.
No, just like that he was a hard one to conceptualize, you know what I mean?
He's one that I had the very, very difficult time making decisions on him. It took a very long time, and so
we wanted him to be right.
That's why you didn't see a lot of art of Marco either, because I wasn't ready, and he was one that I really wanted to get right and spend some time with.
I love that you called him Marky just now. That was really cute.
What did I say? Did I say Marky?
You said Marky.
Oh.
His nickname that Hugo calls him. That was very cute. Does Marco get to wield a sword in the manga? It's a good question.
Well, he could draw one with his powers, you know.
Yeah.
That's not his. And I remember when I was developing him, and in those drawings where he has the sword from the novel, it just never felt right, you know. It never felt right. I was like, this is just not, deep inside, I was like, this is not what I want this character to be, right?
That's very interesting that you kind of switched genres like that. I just am.
I think as
I
part of as I developed it more, and I realized I was like I want a more contemporary setting, and I wanted to
mm-hmm.
see the magic happening in a contemporary setting. You know,
I think
because
it
I
was
was
very
like
smart.
I don't know, and some of the things that I wanted to lean into, um, 90s nostalgia and things like that. I thought, you know what, that would actually make a cool setting.
I really like that. I would not have done that, but that's because I'm a fantasy girly. So I love the idea that we've got this magic and this. It's not. It's like science, but it's also a lot of magic, you know. And I really like that you've taken it into a place where you know really well. I mean, you grew up in the '90s, and you know, I think that that's a time that is not necessarily is distant, but is still like a really strong part of like our culture. You know, so it's interesting, like we recognize a lot of stuff, you know, we've recognized the chunky art and the you know, grunge and the music and the technology that was super big, you know, we recognize all that stuff, and the style, the streetwear, you know, and then you throw, you know, sci-fi on top of that, and it's like now all I can think of is Flux Destiny. You know, like it just has to be. That makes perfect sense. So maybe that's just because I work, you know, with Flux Destiny, so I'm a little bit biased. But you know,
well, you know, I think as I thought about it more, it's like, you know, you hear it a lot, but there was something about that particular era that, right on the cusp of things being changed with the internet and with nowadays everything that's, you know, everything's pretty nuts now, AI and everything. It was just a very, cell phones and AI, it was a very different, there was a lot more, there was a lot of excitement and hope and what's it called, ambition, and I wanted to kind of capture all that with this, and that's kind of why I made the setting like this.
well, and I think it's you know, the story is of a growing of age story, you know, a coming of age story, and the world was kind of changing into a new millennia. Not to get too deep or like, you know, try to nip, you know, like get in there all the details of like why you chose this setting and all this stuff, but you know, the characters are learning how to grow up, and so was like the world. You know what I mean? And
Right,
so
yeah.
I think that's really important too, is like it was kind of like a new step, you know, into a new millennium, and nobody knew what was going to happen, like what technology was, how far it was going to advance, how quickly, and all that stuff. So, you know, we've got this anticipation, you know, for Hugo and Marco and their journey, but also like, what is the world like? You know, it's not just
Right.
about them; it's about the whole world. You know,
That's right.
what would Fortuna and this country look like stepping into the 2000s? You know, which is kind of a funny thing to us now. You know, but what was it like for them? Oh, your family wants to have an art fight with you.
An art fight.
Yes.
All right, you're on. We'll schedule an art fight.
Instead of Eric coming on and having an awesome interview, you guys will just you'll have an art battle.
We'll just have an art battle. That's what we'll do. We'll get Casey to draw too. I'd like to see Matthew drawing.
So let me ask you a question that might be a little bit difficult for you to answer. Out of the two characters, Hugo and Marco, who do you think you are most like? And maybe you can't answer this, but who, you know, maybe you can't answer because maybe it's
say that,
too
you know,
difficult.
they actually each kind of have I feel I kind of split my personality between them. There's certain elements of myself between them, and I think that's why it's very hard to develop these particular characters, right? And so they both kind of represent different aspects of my kind of experiences in my personality. It happens.
I can see that
Marco has the same birthday as I do, because when we created the characters, they were actually created on the same day in March. But the problem was that I was like, I wanted to give them unique birthdays, and so I just thought it would be kind of a fun self-insert to give Marco my birthday, you know. And in retrospect,
and all the trouble it's caused.
All the trouble it's caused. In retrospect, I probably should have given him. Well, I didn't know at the time, but I would have made it like my studio's anniversary date. Probably would have done that. But he always felt like an October birthday to me. So I just couldn't find the right. This is me. She knows I am obsessive about like making these particular decisions, and I couldn't make a decision. So I said, okay, I'm gonna just do it. And put him in a give him my birthday and make it, you know, kind of like a little self-insert.
I love that. The only self-insert you'll see, and Wheeler.
And Wheeler. Oh, this turned out cute.
I agree. Bring back Cause.
Bring back Cause. I had someone write me yesterday. I had someone write me out of the blue, like just out of the blue. They're like, "Hey, what happened to Cause?" And every now and then I'll get people writing me. At the time, when in the old days of webcomics, Cause and Battlegate had been doing really well, and there are people who have followed me since then. Some people who are like, you know, are now like. Some of them are even still on our found their way back into our fandom, which was really awesome. I don't know if Max is here tonight, but Max.
I think I saw Max super early.
Max is one of those that was here from the very, very, very start.
I feel like maybe Hugo should have a fishbowl that he carries around that's strapped to his shoulder, that's a little squirrel that tells him what to do, and plays rock music. I think we should add that in the manga.
What? Where did that come? What inspired that?
Because of Cause, we need to bring him back. He's got to make a cameo. You're like, what are you talking about? As if.
I'm sorry.
You crazy lady.
My brain is at.
Why would I ever draw a squirrel? Why would I ever do that?
I didn't hear the squirrel part. I heard the fishbowl.
Oh.
It's because remember, like the audio here, the audio is
sorry.
like I can't. Just because we can't adjust it, like the music is very loud here to accommodate you guys. Even though it's not loud for you, it's super loud for me, and it drowns her out, so I can't hear her sometimes.
Yeah, you guys are too loud in the chat. Please quiet down. Can't hear. I don't think Marco's fully a self-insert. I think it's mostly just the birthday is a self-insert.
Yeah, he's just like, I feel like you can't help it as a creator have, you know, characters have parts of you, and so I feel like Marco and Hugo represent me in many respects, but I wouldn't call it.
I know this firsthand. Because I'll tell.
She'll tell me that's so
and I'll
you.
be like, "You're very Hugo today," or I'll be like, "You're being very Marco right now."
Right.
You know, and it kind of like causes him to like pause, you know, and be like, "Oh, am I?" You know, like there's a moment of reflection, you know. Biomead, we'll see you next week. Thank you for hanging out with us like always.
Now, actually, I get asked a lot about Marco's hair. Actually, Marco's hair is believe it or not, the hardest one to draw. Like
I totally believe it.
Hugo's hair is actually really easy to draw compared to Marco, and
Mm-hmm.
whatever reason, it's just I always have to redraw it because it never feels right. So I just need to go see my therapist. Right. I'm going to I'm not going to do the coloring of him live.
Right.
I'm going to finish the line art here. We're almost done. And then we're about to get to the raffle.
We are.
This is your last call.
So you've the last call. Last call. We're ringing that bell.
I'm just about done here. Those studio line commissions are pretty cool too. Like the stuff that I've been seeing coming out of them.
I know we've had a lot lately because the moveset is was sort of a last call last month, so we had a bunch of movesets come through. We're gonna probably see those pop up soon. So yeah. Candy says Hugo's hair is easy. Sure, I kind of think Marco's hair is easier to draw. Maybe that's because you draw him more.
We know why that is, Candy. We know why that is. And I meant comparatively too. Like Hugo's hair has its own challenges. But it's funny. I've mentioned this to some of you guys before. Hugo's hair actually responds to his mood and what he's going through. So his hair will like shift wildly per panel, and it's on purpose. It's kind of to show kind of like how unglued he kind of is right now this particular stage.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad we got to do some drawing on this live, even though I promised you that you would get a night off from drawing. I lied, just to get you here, and and then forced him to draw. But I'm glad that we did, because this one was super cute.
I thought this was a great idea to do this when you because we weren't going to draw originally on this live, like she said, and then she proposed this, and we were going to actually do this particular request for Marco's birthday, and we thought, let's add it to the birthday party. I was really excited. I thought that was fun.
Yeah, we were saving it and trying to decide when we were going to do it, and then we were like, oh yeah, we have to do it now.
All right, I think, let me turn off the draft layer so you can see the final. Obviously, oh, hold on, let me see if I can hide the hair behind his head.
Oh, cute.
All right, there we go. Here, I can kind of hide his skull here. Look at that. Oh, that turned out cute.
I love it.
Cute. That was awesome.
His chunky earrings. I love it.
Chunky earrings. So this will be colored and turned into a sticker too. Candy, thank you so much for sponsoring this one. Obviously, of all people, I knew that Candy would sponsor this particular one. It means a lot. She's been a huge Marco fan for forever, since the Battlegate days. So she's been here for it all then. So yeah. So thank you. So I can't wait to color that. Now we've got Hugo and Marco together. Where's Hugo? Here he is. I haven't gotten a chance to color him yet. We were just in the middle of using him as an example in a previous one, but now we've got him. Can I move him over here? Without breaking things. There we go. Look how far they've come. All right. Well, thank you again. That was awesome. So I think we're now ready to get into the raffle. Anything else that we want to say, Ella, before we get to the raffle? Are you sure?
I think that's it.
Yeah?
I mean, I think we're ready to go. I think everybody's excited. I just got the last one in. Um, so I just got the last two that came in just now, so don't worry. I've got those in. Let me save this real quick. There's quite a few in this one. Quite a few.
Yeah, we got a bunch of raffle tickets this time, so we're excited about this. I always look forward to every month's raffle because we always Ella always comes up with some cute idea, and I get really excited about it. So, all right, so we're waiting.
Right.
Oh, you sent it?
Sending in a. Oh, I know where I saved it.
Okay, so while she's pulling that up, we've got this wheel that she sends me the names, and I can like populate the wheel, and then we spin the wheel, and you get to see. It's done automatically. We don't push any buttons or anything except to just start the wheel. So we'll do that, and we'll get to pick a winner, and we'll get to see who won tonight's raffle and who gets the awesome studio line commission. So I'm pretty excited about that. If you don't know what a studio line commission is, we have one of our studio artists, Jeremy. He does a type of commission for Flux Fantasy work called studio line stuff, and those are usually like OC art. So he'll do like OC art, full bodies, half bodies. We also do like what we call move sets, which are like you can take your Flux Fantasy character and order a move set of like 5 different actions, and so you can take your Flux Fantasy character's karmastry power profile and have them turned into actual drawings, so you can use those to complement your game nights. So, all right, so we've got it here. So let me just load this up, and hopefully I do this right. we always have our like miracle technology that we got all this stuff on. All right, let me make sure.
And while he's pulling that up, don't forget about the jacket. We are going to be posting it in our Discord, but if you're a new friend with us, or you're just you want to get it now, the link is here in the chat. It's pretty cool. It's nice and hefty, so I'm excited to get those out. We'll be getting those out pretty much as soon as you send them in. So the sooner the better, I guess, for wintertime.
Yeah. All right, does this look right to you, Ella? I don't know if you can see the screen on your end.
That looks right. Sorry about all the ads on the side. We can't
enjoy sorry. Them. This is a free wheel thing, so sorry. The ads are. This is not sponsored. Okay, so I don't know what those ads are. Okay, so about to spin. Ella, you want to count us down?
I will. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, spin.
All right, here we go. Oh shoot, where'd it go? Okay, here we go. Woo. All right. Oh. Ruben.
Yay!
Ruben, congratulations.
Wow.
Oh, that's awesome. Ruben's a huge Marco fan too. Ruben has been a fan of Marco's for a long time, and I know that some of the design elements he was really inspired by too. So I am so happy for you, Ruben. That's awesome. So anyways, that was fun. All right. So thank you to all of you guys who, and Ella will reach out to you on the side, Ruben, and work that out with you. Thank you guys.
Yeah, congrats.
I'm getting all these notes about Marco's. So Marco's glasses will be fixed. I will add the line to it.
How
forgot. I know
dare you?
I forgot. Sorry, a lot going on. I will.
How dare you think about the raffle before finishing Marco? How could you?
He will be fixed. I promise. I promise he will. He will fix it. I've been given a note that there's been a lot of like desperation to get that fixed. I promise you, when I get to the coloring, I will get it fixed. Um, thank you so much for everything. Again, thank you guys for coming tonight to celebrate this special night with us. Like I said, it's a big deal for all of us. It's like this triple birthday, 2 years of this studio. Ella, I think you've been here a year and a half of that time. So I
Mm-hmm.
think if I'm doing the counting right. So just really, really appreciate it. Thank you guys for celebrating Marco's birthday and sending all those birthday wishes for the raffle. If you guys, thank you for those of you who've been buying the jackets already. They're going to be so awesome. Be sure to send pictures when you get them. When you get them and
Yeah.
where you model them. I'm going to get me one. I'm going to get me one of those because those are pretty
Well,
cool.
good. You better.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, I hope you guys have a great weekend. Did I miss anything, Ella? Or we good? Okay.
That's it.
Hope you guys have an awesome weekend. Thank you again for all the birthday wishes, not only to Marco in the studio, but to me. You guys have been really awesome. I've been kind of inundated with them and haven't been able to respond to everyone personally, but I really appreciate it. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and we will see you on our next live this coming week. Have a great weekend. Good night.
Bye.